What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got some major stuff going on here. Former President Donald Trump's tax returns are going to be released here. Previously, we just got an outline of them. Now we're actually going to get to see them for the public. Everybody's going to get to know what was in them, what was not in them, what he may have hid in them, and why he didn't want to release them. So we'll get to see if there was something in them, what may or may not have been in them. Remember, his last year in office, he paid $0 in taxes and actually got a $5 million tax refund, which a lot of people are thinking is actually absolutely crazy to get a $5 million tax refund and pay $0 in taxes. You guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. So we're going to get that on Friday. So yeah, a lot of people are like, well, it's nobody's business to see your tax returns. And then a lot of other people are like, but every other modern day president has been releasing their tax returns so that there's transparency because a president, is a public official on the presidential level. And that's why other presidents release their tax returns. Biden has already released his tax returns for every single year so far, so that you know that the president, so did Obama, so did the Bushes, so that you know that the president is doing or not doing what they're supposed to. So any money that comes in, you know where and what it's coming from. And also, they're supposed to get audited by the IRS so that the IRS goes through their bank accounts so that you know that they're taking in cash or taking in whatever money is coming in through any of their bank accounts. The IRS has audited it. And the IRS didn't audit him on several years. And this is a big concern of a lot of people because the IRS is supposed to audit a sitting president and didn't audit him for multiple years in there. There was one time the IRS audited him, and the other years they didn't audit him. And a lot of people are saying, why didn't this happen? Did he pull strings at the IRS? And if so, that this could have been illegal because this was supposed to happen. So there's for sure going to be a full-blown investigation on this. The question is why or why didn't this happen? Will we ever know the reason for this? So we'll see. We'll see. We're going to be getting the transcripts of this tax return and or the several years actually 2015 through 2020. So 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20 I believe are all the years we're going to be getting. So several years, millions and millions of dollars of losses. Also in this video, I want to go over new $1,000 to $2,000 direct payments could go out to Americans qualifying under a new $17.6 billion plan. We'll go over that, who could qualify of this, and a couple different new stimulus type plans in this video. You can see the headline here from the Financial Times. Donald Trump's tax returns records show $53 million in net losses over a 6-year span. Former U.S. president's loans to his children raised questions from the Joint Committee on Taxation. Remember that former President Donald Trump said that he would release his tax returns when the IRS audits were complete. But we find out that there were no IRS audits done in multiple years in which they should have been done. There is a regulation code that the sitting presidents are supposed to be audited every single year. Those audits did not take place. Yeah, so you guys let me know your thoughts here on this. The summary, which was compiled by Congress's nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation, showed Trump declared no taxable income for 2015, 16, 17, and 2020, years in which he racked up $82 million in combined losses. Wow. Among them were interest income from related party loans made to some of Trump's children, including Ivanka Trump, Eric Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. This raises the question of whether these loans were a bona fide arm's length transaction or whether the transfer was disguised gifts that could trigger gift tax and disallowance of interest deductions by the related borrowers. So remember, these weren't audited to be whether these were allowable deductions. So now maybe they will be. Quote, for 4 years, the committee has been reviewing how the IRS enforces the federal tax laws and ensures compliance by a president. A president is no ordinary taxpayer. They hold power and influence unlike any other American. And with great power comes even greater responsibility. This is why a lot of people are asking, why should we know about the president's tax returns? Also, people want to know if the president is taking in money illegally, where they're taking money from. Are they taking money from foreign countries? Are they taking money from Russia, from Ukraine? You know, whether it's Biden, whether it's Trump, are they taking money from China? Are they taking money from sources they're not supposed to be? This is why presidents are supposed to be audited. Whether it's Biden, whether it's Trump, whether it's Bush, whether it's Clinton, all presidents are supposed to be audited every single year. They're supposed to go through all their bank accounts, any cash they take in. This is supposed to happen every single year. And this is a massive breakdown of a president, of our financial institution, of the IRS. And they're not supposed to pull favors for a president. This is supposed to happen regardless of who the president is. Democrat, Republican, Independent, anybody. This was not supposed to happen. You're supposed to audit the president. You're supposed to go through their bank accounts and make sure that everything is on the up and up. I mean, we think about kind of what happened back in the day with Nixon, and it's just this is you're supposed to audit them and you're supposed to go through their bank accounts. You're supposed to make sure that all the money that is coming in, where it's coming from, and it's legit and everything is correct. Let me know your thoughts here on this. Even more so considering is that Trump is going to run for president again. So this is pretty, relevant. Okay, next up, I want to talk about this new direct payments between $1,000 and $2,000 could go out to Americans under a $17.6 billion plan. Who would qualify? So I want to talk about this. And then I got another one after this. Then I'm going to announce the winners here of our Christmas giveaway. And then we're also going to do a New Year's Eve giveaway here and even more going forward here. So if you've been watching my channel here, you know that 35 different states have done state stimulus checks, tax refund checks, inflation relief checks this year. There's going to be even more next year. And this just goes to show you that there is already states planning this. Yeah, you can see here, a big budget surplus could result in Americans getting direct payments worth up to $2,000 next year. And really, I think that pretty much every state has budget surpluses, which is extra money over what the state needs to run their state, because states are dealing with low unemployment. So they're all dealing with kind of extra state revenues right now. So a lot of states are saying, how can we help out our residents? Governor Tim Walz has been calling for months to give a tax rebate check to residents of Minnesota. While efforts failed in 2022 due to opposition from Republicans, there's renewed hope that it could happen next year in 2023. That's because it was an election year and the party likely did not want to help the Democratic governor persuade voters by sending out cash. So a lot of states were like this. They didn't want to send out a check right before the election and help out, the opposing party, whether it was a Democratic Party or the Republican Party, depending on the state, right before the election. But now that the election's over, there's a lot of states that could do this. Following the November election, Democrats wound up holding a 70 to 64 majority in the House and a 34 to 33 advantage in the state. One of the states that could do this now is Pennsylvania. They've been pushing for a $2,000 stimulus check for a while. And same thing, the Republicans held the majority there in the state legislature, but didn't want to help out the Democratic governor. So we could see that from the state of Pennsylvania this year for their $2,000 stimulus check. While the Republican support might be needed, the elections are over. It appears the party might be open to considering a rebate check under the $17.6 billion projected budget surplus. That is a lot of money, $17.6 billion. That might be one of the highest besides California, which has almost it's like 90 some billion dollars. And we know that California is sending out their stimulus checks right now. It's a one-time money, so you have to look at possible one-time rebate checks to our filers. State House Republican Minority Leader Lisa DeMuth told Minnesota recently, "It's a discussion we would have with our caucus." He recently reiterated that $1,000 checks for individuals or $2,000 for couples could be a starting point for negotiations. So $1,000 to $2,000 checks could be happening here hopefully shortly. Governor Tim Walz's plan in 2022 was to send out $1,000 to Minnesotans who earned less than $165,000 last year, or married couples would have gotten, two of those or one per person, so $2,000. Joint filers earning less than $275 would have been $2,000. The rebate plan would have really only cost $4 billion, meaning there would have been plenty of funding left under that $17.6 billion plan. So they could really do that for several years in a row and still have a lot of money left over. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Also, the state of Maryland. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan announces a $20 million water assistance relief program. Maryland previously had I think it was a $500 stimulus check from Governor Larry Hogan. I remember that. Well, now they're announcing a new $20 million water assistance relief program. Yeah, today they announced a $20 million water assistance relief program that will support residents with water bill debt related to the pandemic. I remember reading a story that said about I think it was 1 in 6 homes in the United States right now have utility debt, whether it's water, electric, home, or water, electric, or heating debt. 1 in 6 homes have. It was 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 homes have debt related to utilities. So we continue to provide ways, especially during the winter months, to help residents who may have difficulty with their water or heating bills. Water systems are encouraged to apply for this funding to ensure savings or customers in the coming months. As a condition of receiving funding, water systems must agree to allocate payments as bill credits and customers within a specific number of days after receiving the payments and waive late fees and interest. The credits will cover outstanding water debt from residential customers that was accrued between January 2020 and September 2022. The application period for this begins next Monday, January 2nd, and will remain open to January 31st. In addition, programs are available year-round through the Maryland Department of Human Services. As I've said here, pretty much each state has programs like this through the HEAP program, HEAP, and LIHEAP program. I've been covering that here on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel here. Okay, next up, I want to announce the winners here of our Christmas giveaways. The ones I haven't announced. I think I may have mentioned it in the previous video, but then I forgot to say it at the end. Sorry, sometimes I do this. I cover so much content in all these videos. Sometimes I may mention something at the beginning and then just not get to it. You know, I'm human. Yeah, it happens. So I don't even remember where I left off. Again, I'm human, so I'm just gonna kind of go over the last several questions here. So we'll start with question number 10 per se. In the movie The Santa Claus, how many years had Judy worked on her hot chocolate recipe? The answer was 1,200 years. In the movie Home Alone 2, what president stayed on the same floor as Kevin? It was Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover. Now, coincidentally, former President Donald Trump appeared in that movie as well, which is crazy because he wasn't president at the time, but later on became president. But he wasn't the president that stayed on the same floor as Kevin in the movie. So the answer for that one was Herbert Hoover. But I thought it was interesting because we just watched that with Julian and Donald Trump was in there. I was like, oh wow, how ironic is that we said the question and there was two presidents, but the answer for that was Herbert Hoover because he's the one that stayed on the same floor as Kevin. Okay, so yeah. In the movie, in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, who carved the roast beast? And the answer was the Grinch. And notice the roast beast. Roast beast. So the answer is the Grinch. I'll tell you the winners here in a second. In the movie, The Santa Claus 2, what is the name of the reindeer in training? The answer was Chet. What profession does Rudolph's elf friend wish he did instead of being an elf? The answer was a dentist, of course, a dentist. What job does the abominable snow monster get at the North Pole? He puts the star on the Christmas tree. Puts the star on the Christmas tree. I seen somebody say he has to eat everybody. And I said, yeah, well, that's about right too. In National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, what was the name of Cousin Eddie's dog? It was Snots. Yeah, let me know if you've named your dog Snots too. Yeah. And how did Ruby Sue's eyes go crossed and uncrossed? Laurel, how did Ruby Sue's eyes go crossed and uncrossed?
She fell down a well and they went cross. And then she got kicked by a mule and they went uncrossed.
I think that was Laurel's favorite question that she had.
That and the dog, the Snots dog.
I think that we're going to name one of our next animals Snots.
No.
Maybe it could be my nickname for you.
No, I think that would be your nickname, sir.
What? So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, and we're going to be doing some trivia questions for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, provided that we have videos. I think we're going to have videos for that. I think they're going to be some. I don't know what our schedule is going to be yet for that, so I'll keep you up to date here. But okay, the winners are Christy Hall, Candy Damus, Diana Guadetta, Val Strange, Cheryl Tubbs, Merton Kelly, Harris Friedman, Shirley Ostenzebeski. Sorry if I'm saying any of these wrong, saying them the best I can. Gamer for Life, James Varcaro, Heather Marie, Mo Reeves, Lori Dimer, Martin Cooljack, and Rose Brown. Were just the winners for those last couple questions. I had already announced the winners for the previous questions as well. And we're going to be doing more questions here for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. and then probably more questions here going forward as well. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon so you get notifications here when we go live, which is every day here at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also so much, thank you for hitting the like button and the share button. It helps our YouTube channel, with the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff here. You can click this video here to watch my video next, my newest video next. And here is my newest video about Social Security, new payments and benefits. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.